You're watching this week's show with Dan and Mike.
This week's show.
Hello.
Little did we know when we recorded last week's what a week we would have to talk about.
Indeed. It's been a 7 days.
It's been a 7 days. We are still getting lots of love and lots of views and all the stuff that we've done about Ozzy so far, but we literally recorded, the day before he then passed away?
Hours before, yeah.
Hours before he passed away. So
we talked about his final show and everything and how awesome it was, and went home, edited and stuff, and
then
it broke.
It broke.
And it broke everyone.
Pretty much. I mean, I always hold my hands up and say I've never been an avid listener of Ozzy or Black Sabbath. I'm not going to pretend I am now, just because he's
not quite your era.
No, but then again, even later eras, the second wave, Iron Maiden never interested me. My interest started at Metallica, but then I got very quickly bored of Metallica and started listening to bands that were the same age as me, because they were throwing down with the same energy I was bringing as a fan to the gigs.
That's it.
But to try and say that Ozzy doesn't have any impact on our generations or people younger than us, because we're, middle-aged, is absurd.
Young at heart.
Young at heart. What I found sort of one of the most interesting things was how widespread the impact of Ozzy was, because we had the outpouring of love for Back to the Beginning, and that was lovely.
Yeah.
And then everybody that wasn't involved and didn't really have a good reason to speak about Back to the Beginning then suddenly was sharing memories and love, and every story. I don't normally say this when people are dying, people put stories online, but I haven't seen a negative story about Ozzy apart from the stuff that people already know. Like, those of us that lived through Meet the Osbournes always knew that one of the kids wasn't involved. Like, I'm not going to turn that into clickbait sensationalism headlines, because that was obvious at the time. Like, it was talked about at the time. It's not big news now just because some people have found it out. That's about the worst thing that anybody has said about Ozzy, is that one of his kids didn't want to appear on his TV show.
If you want to see or find out the worst things about Ozzy, it's in his autobiography. There's even pictures.
Yeah.
For those people that can't read it all.
Well, the story about the cats has come out as well, which, on the face of it, if he wasn't completely tweaked on multiple...
bat juice.
Yeah, multiple different things, then yeah, it's a bit of a heinous thing to do. But when he famously did LSD for a year, your brain's not going to end up the same after that. I know from back when I was drinking, is a few days solid drinking, is I was a bit of a different person by the end of the few days, and I very much got into habit. Even when we started the show and we drank heavily for festivals, is we would drink heavy, take breaks, drink heavy, take breaks, so that...
at festivals we drink heavy, interview, drink heavy, interview.
Which makes sure you pay attention to the next podcast, because we've got one hell of a story about that.
And next week's, because we're at Bloodstock.
Back to Bloodstock.
Yeah, back to Bloodstock, and all of our hype begins next week.
Cannot wait. We've got a hell of an interview for that one as well. But no, it's crazy. We're recording this and probably putting it out the day before the funeral.
Yes, with the procession through Manchester, and the Black Sabbath seat it's gone. It's taken over the entire road. It's like when Princess Diana died, and there was a few flowers, and then a few more flowers, and all of a sudden it's just like a sea of flowers, which is cool.
Because I think whether or not you necessarily, he's one of those presences in the world that whether or not you did listen to his music, you actually knew who he was, you knew what he did, you knew why he was famous.
Well, a lot of people called Ozzy the godfather of heavy metal or heavy music, but what they also did was invent a genre of TV with Meet the Osbournes, because there really was not that kind of fly on the wall, live in, all life captured kind of reality TV.
Or if it wasn't with celebrities.
No. Yeah. It was like Big Brother, and that was probably about it.
Well, there was a couple, because that's what the Truman Show was based off.
The Truman, that kind of thing. But they did the whole we record you 24/7 type thing, and then and then off the back of that, you had the things like the Kardashians and
even before that, Jersey Shore.
Was
filmed all those constantly.
All those kind of scripted reality.
Scripted reality
came from
I mean, everybody else in Meet the Osbournes, apart from Ozzy, was scripted. I don't.
Of sorts. I don't think they were scripted, as in they had to memorise lines, but they were like, if you can talk about this
and go do this
and do this,
yeah.
and if you can hang out with these people, and then that'll make great content.
Whereas Ozzy was just making messy.
Fucking shat on my carpet.
Making messy cups of tea.
No, it's not you, Sharon. Or the biggest cup of coffee ever. It was like
and then
bowl. Yeah.
Drank the whole thing. I mean,
still didn't even give him the jitters, sadly.
And that was just the way that he functioned.
I think we'll be talking about Ozzy for many, many years to come.
I mean, we talked about him lots as a genre and as a just media outlet before his passing, and before the Back to the Beginning gig.
Well, we saw Ozzy's final show at Download as a solo performer in 2018, was it?
I think that was
17 or 18. But then a few years before that, we saw Black Sabbath's final show when they did The End, which didn't have Bill Ward, but it was Ozzy and Geezer and Tony.
Tony had just come out of illness for that one, hadn't he?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, and for a personal memory, the first Download that we did together, I believe it was.
No, we'd done some before that, surely.
No, I think it was one of our first.
It was Wet, I remember that.
Yeah, and that was definitely the first one. But we did the entirety of the Ozzy set, all the way to the finish, and then left with the rest of the punters to get stuck in a car park for 3 hours. And then still drive home. And
makes a story, doesn't it?
Yeah, and annoyingly enough, I was young enough then that I could throw that off, whereas now I can't even drive back early after a festival and recover. I have to stay till Monday and drive back in the morning because I'm just too old. I can do it, we get home, but then I lose 3 days to feeling exhausted and ruined. And then the other really, sad thing, because it's the two things that we generally focus on the podcast, is music and wrestling, is we then almost had the Ozzy of wrestling pass away.
Yeah, 2 days later, Mr. Hulk Hogan.
Mr. Hulk Hogan. Now,
Terry Bollea?
Bollea, I think so. Now,
that's his true name.
I've seen a lot of hate online because Mr. Hogan, young Terry,
he was very opinionated in his latter years.
He was divisive, yes.
But then Ozzy was divisive as well.
He was nicer though. I think that's the problem is Ozzy was always just the lovely, happy guy that happened to stumble into being the grandfather of metal. Whereas Hulk Hogan created the worldwide market for wrestling, I think is the best way of putting it. He didn't create wrestling.
I think him and Vince working together in the 80s, solidifying and the product becoming WWF as it was then.
Him being a movie star.
I hadn't watched wrestling for decades or so before this year.
Yep.
So I'm on a new journey. But I remember watching Andre the Giant and Hogan. They were the two sort of figureheads, and they fought all the time. And the fact that Hogan win WrestleMania 3 or 4, something like that.
Against Andre.
He picked Andre up and slammed him down. It was like, no one could do that. It's just like, when you look back at it now and watch the footage, Andre kind of just jumps to the side and Hogan just puts his arms around and flips him down. There's no way anyone could have lifted up Andre the Giant.
Well, funny story about that is if he didn't want you to do anything in the ring, this is Andre, you weren't allowed to do it.
Well, no.
Because he had to cooperate. And Hogan famously said many times he didn't know the result of the match because it was going to be called by Andre the Giant in the ring depending on how he was feeling. And he, because don't forget as well, Hogan was old school. They didn't choreograph. They did everything in the moment. But also there was less technical flips and less risk to that style.
In that era, there was definitely, it was proper slaps and that Boston crabs where you bust your
as well as doing silly stuff where they would dance with each other with moves. It was a very, very different era of stuff, and so that Andre match was called in the ring. As WWE on their SmackDown edition said, is Hogan very much passed the torch to Rock. because Rock was one of the only people that can match his star power. And I remember reading from Hogan's side, from Hogan's side and Rock's side, is it was the two different eras meeting where Rock wanted to choreograph that whole match and Hogan didn't. And they met, and I believe it was like Rocky's dad that was there at the time, or like a family member that eventually told him, you know, shut up and listen to Hogan, because Hogan's only going to do it that way.
Yeah.
So a stickler for the old school style, but you look at how big that match and the pop when he hulks up and does his normal Hulk thing, you can see why he understood. Yeah, he knew what he was doing, because the crowd went mental for the Rock versus Hulk match.
Yeah, just Hulk in general, the crowds would go wild. It was
just because he was there.
It was like, at the time, like the late 80s and early 90s, that, you know, the they call it Hulkamania, but the mania surrounding famous people. You had like New Kids on the Block, where the girls would go screaming outside the cars and the buses and the hotel rooms. But that was happening to Hulk Hogan, because he reached the pinnacle of fame, basically. He couldn't go anywhere without being recognised, and
no door wasn't open to him at that point.
Yeah, well, he went into Hollywood and was in the Rocky film.
Mr. Nanny as well.
Yes.
Love that movie. Actually watched it only like 18 months ago, because I remembered it. I was like, I wonder what this is like as an adult. He wasn't the worst bit of the film. Yeah, he acted it for what he was doing very well. You
get all these action stars that do these kind of kids movies, like Arnie did Kindergarten Cop. Vin Diesel did Pacifier. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, these big, muscly kind of guys trying to prove that they're gentle, and some of it works and some of it doesn't. And the Hulk one, it was interesting.
Very interesting. But the one thing that you can't say that he did was phone it in. He was given a bad script and he made it funny. Like, he was the funny part of Mr. Nanny, as well as the kids, to be fair. They were quite charming. But no, he got so far beyond wrestling.
He was a bit like Kiss, where you could buy something Hulk or Hulkamania with, you know, maybe not like Kiss caskets for your coffin and stuff like that, but I mean, you could get
probably a Hogan casket somewhere in America. They are the merch central of the world with weird ideas.
Yeah, but he probably out-merched and became bigger at a certain point than the WWF/E.
100%.
You know, he was the figurehead, but, you know, he was the famous one, whereas Vince was the brains of sorts.
Well, interesting with the timing that works is Vince was known in the industry, but he wasn't as much of a known entity on TV.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Because it took Hogan leaving for WCW and creating his Hollywood Hogan character, which we were laughing about, the really dark beard stubble, but with the bright blonde mustache. Hogan working with WCW challenged Vince so much that is what created the Attitude Era, where Stone Cold, The Rock, and other people came up. Because if I got my timing right, and wrestling fans, I am not good with the history of wrestling. I do get a few bits wrong, but I do believe that the Hulk versus Rock match, that was the passing of the torch, was post WCW.
Okay.
Because Rock had got big in his own right in WWE, and they did the thing. But we have even Hogan to thank for pushing the WWE further and creating the Attitude Era, because he made WCW and the Monday Night War, he made it exciting by turning heel, being the bad guy, so much so that when he came back to the WWE for that one fight, I think, of the passing of the torch, he's still dressed as Hollywood Hogan, and then he came back as Hulkamania, the red and yellow, and then he stayed red and yellow for pretty much the rest of his career. But again, like, you look at him paving the way for how you turn heel properly. A lot of people say you just got to look at Hollywood Hogan's heel run, and you can see how you turn a face into a heel. I mean, The Rock, his life plan is nearly based on wanting to perform as well as Hogan. Like,
bigger films, though.
Bigger film, become a Hollywood movie star, make it big. And then we've got Cena he's trying to do the same thing. Famously said he wasn't going to, and then famously has also said, I should have never have said that. I'm now eating my own words, and I was really unfair to a lot of people.
Has signed up to do Peacemaker 2.
Of course. And then we've got the Breakout movie star, which I'm going to put it out there, and this is my personal opinion, this isn't backed up by nothing, but Dave Bautista, the best wrestler turned actor. He's funnier than any of the rest of them. He's actually got acting chops. He can play different characters. Sorry, Rock, I love you on screen. You're such good value, but I want to see a little bit of range. Because Rock plays like 3 or 4...
Plays The Rock.
Yeah, 3 or 4 versions of himself. Whereas with Dave Bautista, everybody thinks that Drax is on Guardians and Marvel is just the end of his character. But then you look at Glass Onion...
He's amazing in that.
Then you look
it's a good story though, it's well written.
In Riddick, where they brought back the Riddick films, he does a really, really good version of a military guy as well. And I'm here for it. Like, I think that wrestlers turned actors, there's a certain bit of punch. It's a bit like when we watch Happy Gilmore 2.
I was just about to say that. There was in Happy's Family.
MJF.
That's it.
From AEW. But it was something that you guys said, possibly manager.
Not just him, sorry. There was other wrestlers.
Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella.
Yeah, Nikki Bella.
But you guys said that you can tell that a lot of the actors are from SNL because they have that timing.
In Happy Gilmore 2.
Yeah.
Such a good film.
Such a good film. But they have that timing that makes their screen time very funny because they're used to doing funny in 2 minutes.
Yes.
And you can tell...
Perfect for a cameo.
Yeah, and you can tell the confidence of a wrestler turned actor because they've had to play a character in front of thousands of people week in, week out.
Well, especially when you do the promo in the ring, you've got to... It's like doing theatre, I guess, isn't it? Because you're performing and you're talking to 15, 20,000 people.
It's actually harder by all accounts, from what I understand, is because theatre fans won't chant "you can't wrestle" or try and deliberately throw off your promo by doing exactly that type of thing. So if you've done your time in their WWE, you're going to be really good. And it's an interesting thing that Dave Bautista said. Is that he never felt comfortable doing promos in the ring because he's not good on the first take. He's a guy that comedy timing comes from working with other people without that pressure of the ring.
Yeah.
And you look at Drax for the funnies, like half of it is ad-libbed. It's literally just jokes out of his head understanding his character. And we never got that from Batista. What we got from Batista in the ring was he was, sort of Bron Breakker and Gunther level, just absolute menace. Like he could pick anybody up, he could throw anyone, he could go. But he wasn't great on promo, to the point where even he says promo was not my strong suit. Because at one point he forgets what he was meant to be saying and just starts hollering, "Give me what I want! Give me what I want!" Very famous mistake from him. But all of these guys, like even Cody Rhodes, even Roman Reigns, all of them still follow a playbook that was set down by the greats like Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant, and it's sad. Like, I'm not condoning any of the stuff that made Hogan a bit unpopular with people. I in fact agree with people that say that we shouldn't focus on that part. But the man's passed away. We don't need to worry about. He
has a massive legacy. There were bits that Petter wouldn't want you to talk about with Ozzy Osbourne. Munching on bats,
killing cats,
and sniffing ants or snorting ants. But
But
it's legacy.
And I like a balanced legacy. It's like I'll probably get in a lot of trouble on this if any boomers watch this, but we grew up in the UK where Winston Churchill was labelled as a hero. I have since found the balanced picture of the man, and that's not the case. He was a very flawed genocidal maniac, as well as the guy that also won the war. You can be the Hulk Hogan in the ring, and you can be the flawed Terry outside of the ring, but one doesn't take away from the other, unless you're Ian Watkins, and then screw you.
You can rot in hell.
Yeah, I hope that somebody kills you slowly. There's certain things. If you've just done said the wrong thing, product of your time as well. Don't forget, Hulk Hogan was told for years, you are the superstar, you can do no wrong. The world then changed on him. We got woke, which I'm very happy about, but he struggled.
Woke is being proven that a lot of that is
virtue signaling.
Yeah.
And he was an old-fashioned guy living in a different era. And the problem is most people that get to that age don't spend that much time on TV.
No.
Whereas Hogan did, and that's why we have quite a speckled past for the last few years of that man. But I can take the legacy, I can recognise the man, and I'm still happy with what both Ozzy and Hogan did for their respective. I don't even know what you would call them because it's industries.
Industries, yeah.
And I like taking the balance view. It doesn't stop me liking Hogan's history. Doesn't stop the fact that I have some very good memories with this man of watching Ozzy Osbourne. In fact, like I say, the early rock show days of us working together, there was a good couple of Ozzy experiences that really we're doing it. We're watching it. We're having the experience.
Yes.
And so we wanted to talk about it. We didn't have, we didn't want to talk about anything else, I think was more the point once we realised.
Well, there is something we do need to talk about, but if you want more information on the Ozzy thing, we talked about him on our radio show, some different stories that we shared, which you can find below on the links after you've liked, subscribed and all that jazz.
Hit it up.
It's on Mixcloud, and we do a nice little tribute and play an Aussie Black Sabbath song.
Hell yeah.
But there is one more thing.
What's that?
This weekend.
Yes.
SummerSlam.
Cannot wait.
So we'll quickly have a couple of predictions and then say goodbye.
I think that Seth's injury is fake. I think he's going to come in and steal the title off of Punk before he gets it. And Seth will be champion by the end of the weekend, and Gunther's going to take a leave of absence, Roman Reigns style, and just chill out from being a champion for a while. That's my main SummerSlam call.
What about Cody against Cena?
Cena's going to come out on top. I think it was because it went around the internet so hard, so quick. I think it was a deliberate misinformation about him turning heel. I think we're going to see Cody lose again to Cena still being heel. And I think that because we had 22 years of Cena being a babyface, and he doesn't, there's nothing much to be gained about turning their golden boy of Rhodes heel at this point. It doesn't work for him. He's still getting the pop, still getting the singing. He's still going to be the next Make-the-Wish guy. I don't see it making business sense to do a pointless heel turn because the big heel turn is still Cena's heel turn. So I think we're just going to see Cody lose to some heel fuckery again. And
one final one, Jelly Roll to win everything. That's my opinion. I think Jelly Roll should win everything.
I mean, it depends.
Grammys, Oscars,
it depends if Drew gets back from the UK to America in time, doesn't it?
Well, in that case, it's 2-on-1. Even better. That's an even better chance for Jelly to do it. Come on, boy.
That would be a phenomenal one. But you never know. Logan could bring out a big name if Drew can't do it because
his brother.
Oh, that would be hilarious to watch Jake Paul try and wrestle.
The Miz.
The Miz?
He's back.
He's back.
He's saying he's going to do it.
Oh, The Miz has come out on TikTok.
Yeah, he wrestled at the weekend.
He did. So that would be a good one to put in the corner because both him and Logan are the reality stars come wrestlers. There we go. And Dom Mysterio for undisputed title within the next 3 years. That's not a SummerSlam prediction. I just love Dom. I think he's one of the best things that's ever happened to the business.
Cool.
There we go.
That's about it then.
We're going to do another podcast this week. Like I say, very funny Bloodstock drinking story at that one. Catch that in a couple of days. And next week, we're going to be doing a Bloodstock hype and a SummerSlam special.
Until next week,
Take
go Jelly Roll!
Go Jelly Roll.